I guess here we go. Let's knock out this review. First thing, don't forget this is the easiest one. Anything to the 0 power is always just 1. Hopefully there'll be one like that on your test tomorrow. That's really good. Number 2, don't forget their exponent rules here. Let's do this. Let's do a little bit of time. I have 20 divided by 4, which is 5. The 5 goes on the top because that's where the 20 is. I'm looking at the A's right now. Remember, when you divide, you subtract exponents. The bigger A is on the denominator, and it's 1 bigger, so I'm going to put A on the bottom. The B's are both negative, so I'm going to flip those. I'm going to put the B the fifth on the top, the B the fourth down below, and then to finish up, now the bigger B is on the top, so it's 1 bigger, so I'm going to say 5B over A. That's it. All right, number 3. Let's keep it rolling. Number 3. There's an exponent of 3 outside the parentheses, which means it goes for everything inside. So I'm going to do 3 cubed, which is 27. I hope you understood that. I did the 3 to the 3rd power. I'm multiplying the other ones. Remember, exponent inside and outside, you multiply the exponents. That's y negative 12, x negative 12, y negative 24, z negative 9. And now I just got some flipping to do. The 27 stays. It has no negative exponents. The x goes down, the y goes down, and the z goes up to make everything positive. That's all you got to do on that one. Number 4, straight up multiplication. Don't forget, when you multiply, you really add your exponents. So if I add negative 2 plus 14, you get 12. And guys, that's the whole thing. Now, if you end up with a negative, don't forget to flip it. Okay, but that time it was positive, so we're fine. Number 5, that negative 3 goes for everything. So be careful here. It's negative 2 to the negative 3 power. Multiply the other ones. Remember, exponent in and out, you multiply. Negative 6 times negative 3 is positive 18. Negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. The 18 and 9, the x and z's are great. I've got to flip the negative 2. Now, watch what I do here. When I flip that negative 2, first of all, remember the x and y's are good. I have to flip it, and because it's negative 3, I've got to flip and cube. All right, so when I flip it, it's going to the bottom, obviously. When I cube negative 2, I just told you the answer. I do negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. That's negative 8. There you go. All right, second day this week, we're combining like terms here. And because it's addition, I'm not going about changing signs. I'm just going to add straight across. So I'm looking for something. I'm looking for an m squared n. I don't see one, so I'm going to bring that straight on down. Here I've got a 7mn squared. That goes with this one. Those two right there. So if I add 7 and 5, that's 12mn squared. This is an 8. That's an mn. That's an mn. It's a negative 8 and a negative 7, which is a negative 15 mn. Then I got the 5 and the 11 on the end is 5 and a negative 11, which is negative 6. And guys, there you go. And again, with 2 variables, I'm not going to worry too much about the order right there. 1 variable for sure. Let's go decreasing order. Number 7, there's subtraction. I'm going to do the extra step. Again, if you're good, you don't have to do this step. It's up to you. Not if you're good, I shouldn't say that. If you're brave, I should say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring everything out. So I'm going to take this out of the parentheses. That minus sign is going to change all the signs in that second one. So right now the 4x cubed is positive. I'm going to make it minus. The 2x squared is positive. I'm going to make it minus. The 7x is minus. I'm going to make it plus. The 13 is plus. I'm going to make it minus. Okay, so now I'm going to go biggest exponent first, which is the 4th. 2x to the 4th power. There's my cube right there, minus 4x cubed. I have an x squared and an x squared. That's going to be negative 8x squared. I've got an 8x and a 7x. That's 15x. And don't forget the minus 13. Pretty good one right there. Number 8, just straight up multiplication. Don't forget your exponent rules. Multiply your 4 and your negative 8. That's negative 32. When you multiply your a's, you're going to add your exponents up. So I'm doing 6 plus 5, which is 11. Number 9 is FOIL. We were doing this in our head in class. We were awesome. Okay, so I'm going to go first. I'm going to work the whole thing out. Outer is 8y. Inner, negative 7y. Last, negative 56. Don't forget to add your OI, your outer inner. 8y minus 7y is positive y, minus 56. Got it. Number 10, as far as I'm concerned, the hardest, not the hardest, but the most tedious one in the whole test, because I got a binomial and a trinomial. I'm going to take the a all the way through first. Here it goes. A times 4a cubed is 4a to the 4th. A times 2ab is negative 2a squared b. A times 5b squared is 5ab squared. Now, taking the negative 2b, don't forget it's negative 2b, so it's going to change the sign. So it's going to make it negative 8a cubed b plus 4ab squared, and then minus 10b cubed. And I'm going to see what I can add. I know 4a to the fourth is by itself. There's a a squared b. That's the only one, so I'm going to go ahead and bring it down also. There's the ab squared. I got two of those. So I'm going to make that 9ab squared. Then I got the a cubed b. That's the only one of those. And I'm going to end up with the negative 10b cubed. And there's 10. All right, number 11 and 12. 11, remember, square, multiply, double, square. And if you don't get that, if you forget that on your test, guys, just write that down twice and do FOIL. But man, I hope you get that square, multiply, double, square. So when I say square, multiply, double, square, I mean take the first term and square it. Don't forget to square the 3, 9x squared. Multiply the two terms together. That's going to be 12xy. Double it, you get 24xy. And then square the second one. And when you square, remember you square the 4 and the y, you get 16y squared. And number 12. Number 12, my favorite are conjugates. Whenever you have conjugates, remember we're doing FL, first, last, only is all you got to do. So first, 3x times 3x, 9x squared. L is last, 5 times negative 5, negative 25. That's all you got to do. I love those. Conjugates. Here we go. Almost last four. Let's do the last three right here. 13, 14, 15. Which ones are rational? Remember, rational means three things. Fractions or stops or repeats. Fractions, stops or repeats. So let's look at them. Negative 3, stops. 2/3 is a fraction. Square root of 7, no way. Don't know that one. Negative 28, stops. 4.1212, nope. Negative 8/7 is a fraction. 0, stops. 6 root of 27, no way. That's a decimal that keeps on going. Square root of 9 is really 3. That stops. Perfect. Which ones are natural? Naturals are counting numbers. 1, 2, 3. I only see square root of 9 is the only one I see. Okay, because it's really 3. You don't count 0. You don't count negative 3. You just count square root of 9, which is 3. Which ones are irrational? Now, here's the deal. If you got 13 right, you should get 15 right. 15 is whatever else is left after you did 13. But let's do it anyway. 15, that means it either doesn't stop or doesn't repeat, which automatically is any square root you don't know. Like that square root of 7 up there, that doesn't stop, doesn't repeat. This one right here, that big old 4.12 thing, it looks like it repeats, but it really doesn't. There's a pattern, but it doesn't actually. Repeating would be like 4.121212 or 4.122222, something like that. And the last one is that 6th root, because we don't know that either. Any root that you punch in your calculator and you get a big old decimal, automatically irrational. Last one, 16. Just write an interval notation. Okay, the first thing right here, that one has an equal sign. That one doesn't, which means the negative 4 is going to have a bracket and the 17 is going to have parentheses. And that's interval notation. All right, guys, hope that helps a lot. You're off to a good start. I want you to keep that up, make a great grade again tomorrow. And if you need help, come find me before you take your test. I'll help you any way I can. And I'll see you then.